Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see how to subtract whole numbers. Let's take an example. Let's say we want to subtract 793 minus 479. Okay, so when the lower digit is larger than the upper digit, subtraction involves borrowing. We will see what that means. Okay, let us first line these numbers up. 7, 9, 3, and then we have 4, 7, 9, and then we are now, let's draw these lines in which tells us about this place value, and then we will start to identify these columns. This is the ones place, this is the ones place, this is the tens place, and this is the hundreds place. This is the hundreds place, and we are now ready to subtract these numbers. And now we are ready to subtract these numbers. What we are seeing here is when the lower number 3 and 9 are in the ones place, 9 and 7 are in the tens place, 7 and 4 are in the hundreds place. The borrowing rule comes into play here when the number in the first row is less than the number in the second row. It so happens here that 3 is less than 9, therefore we need to borrow from the next place. When we borrow from the next place, we're going to borrow from the tens place. So we're going to borrow 1 from 8 here. So this actually becomes, we're borrowing 10 to the ones place. The value what happens here is it's going to become 10 plus 3, which is equal to 13. So now 13 is larger than 9, so therefore 13 minus 9 is equal to 4. So since we have reduced 9 by one number, then it becomes 8. So 8 is larger than 7, so we do not have to borrow any number. 8 minus 7 is equal to 1, and then 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. And therefore, when we subtract 479 from 793, the value comes out as 314. So this is how we're going to use the borrowing technique from the next digit when the number in that particular place is less than the number in the from the number which we need to subtract from. So this is how we're going to use the subtraction rule to be able to simplify whole numbers. Let's take another example. Let's say we have another example of this type. Let's say we want to subtract, let me write this here, we want to subtract 8, 4, 3, 6 minus 4, 6, 9, 8. Let's say we have these two numbers, and when the numbers are of this nature, let us write these things down and then I'll explain some more. Let's say we have 8, 4, 3, 6, and then we have 4, 6, 9, 8. Let us again draw these lines indicating to us that we want to be able to identify the place values where these numbers are located. The first column is the ones place, the second column is the tens place, the third column is the hundreds place, and the fourth column is the thousands place. We are ready to subtract, and now we're going to make a decision whether we can subtract or borrow a number from the next place. So 6 is less than 8, therefore we're going to borrow from the next place. So the next place we have 3. So this reduces by 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, and then this place becomes 6 plus 10, which is equal to 16. Now 16 is larger than 8, and therefore we can subtract 8 from 16. When we subtract 8 from 16, we are left with 8. And now we're going to come to the tens place. In the tens place we have 2, and in the lower number we have 9. 2 is less than 9, therefore we're going to borrow from the next place. In the next place we have 4 in the hundreds place, so 4 is going to be reduced by 1, and therefore we're going to add 10 to this 2, and that becomes 12. And now 12 is larger than 9, therefore 12 minus 9 is equal to 3. Now we're going to then come to the hundreds place and then make a decision here. 3 is less than 6, therefore we're going to borrow it from the thousands place. So we borrow from 8. 8 minus 1 becomes 7, and then the 3, we're going to add 10 to that, and therefore it becomes 13. And now 13 is greater than 6, therefore we're going to subtract 6 from 13. 13 minus 6 is equal to 7, and therefore we're going to place the 7 there. And now 7 is larger than 4, therefore 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. And therefore what we have done here is we have repeatedly borrowed numbers from the next place by making a judgment when the number in those respective place values are less than or greater than. Okay, so 6 was less than 8, therefore we borrowed from the tens place. 3 was less than 9, therefore we borrowed from the hundreds place. 4 was less than 6, therefore we borrowed from the thousands place. And then that is how we want to be able to use the repeated borrowing technique to be able to subtract numbers of this nature. So the answer here is 3738. This is our answer. This is where we want to leave it. This is how we're going to subtract whole numbers. In my next presentation, we shall see how to subtract whole numbers, some more examples.